Here's how recruiters get paid. Hey, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Patrick. This is Patrick Recruiter. I have a decade of experience helping scale small startups from just a handful of employees to hundreds of employees globally. Today, I want to talk to you about how recruiters actually get paid. I've been speaking to a lot of candidates on the job market right now, and there's this thought out there that recruiters get a cut of the salary that is negotiated between the company and the candidate, and it comes out of the candidate's base salary. That isn't the case, so I thought I'd make this quick little video to talk about how recruiters actually get paid. So before I get into the specifics of actually how much a recruiter will make, there are different types of recruiters and different types of roles that recruiters place. Here are the four most common recruiting paths out there. 1. Contingency recruiting. 2. Recruiters that do retained recruiting. 3. Recruiters that do contract staffing or temp to hire recruiting. And then 4. Your internal recruiters, which are typically a part of your talent acquisition team. So those are the four different areas that you can go into as a recruiter, and they all kind of get paid a little bit differently. Let's start with contingency recruiting. This is the most common type of recruiting out there. Those are those external recruiters. You could be a part of an agency, which I've been a part of before, or you could work independently like I am doing now. If you work at an agency, recruiters get paid in two different ways. They have their base salary, usually between like 50 to 60K, probably on average, and then they get paid commission on top of that based off the number of roles that they fill. As an independent recruiter, when you work externally, there is no base commission, so everything's a variable component. What happens when you work externally is you call on hiring managers, you pitch them on your services, on why you're the right person to fill that position at that company. If they accept and decide they want to work with you, terms are then negotiated out. And the terms are simply, how much is the company going to pay you for your services? The pay is usually a variable. It's anywhere between 15 as high as maybe 25% of the base salary of the candidate that you place at that position. So for example, if you negotiated a contract with a company that says they're going to pay you 20% of the base of the candidate that you place at that particular role, let's say you place that candidate for $100,000 annual base salary, not including any type of bonuses, the company would then pay you 20%, which would be $20,000 on top of that. The beauty of working externally is there is no cap. You could work with as many clients or candidates as you'd like. The commissions are endless. Place as many candidates as you can to increase your earnings. There is no ceiling that you can reach. The downside of working externally is you only get paid when you place a candidate. So number 2, recruiters that do retained recruiting. Retained recruiting is a little bit different than the previous contingency recruiting, because retained recruiting, you get paid up front. So the deal is negotiated in advance. So if we're going to hire a C-level executive, it might cost the company $100,000 to pay that recruiting agency to even just start the search for them, because they know it's going to be a 6-month, maybe even longer process to find this very specialized hire, to kind of go through the process, vet the candidates, and really control everything. The beauty of retained recruiting is everything is negotiated up front. So you are getting a portion of your payment, usually in installments. You know, you might get a third in the beginning, a third in the middle phases, and then the remaining third at the end once you close a candidate. But everything's negotiated up front. You know exactly what you're going to make. And typically companies are going to pay a lot more to a retained recruitment agency. So the third way a recruiter can make money is through contract staffing or temp to hire fill positions. Those are recruiters that are specialized in hiring contract hourly workers, and how they make money is through what we call a markup. So let's say, for example, you're going to fill a design position at a company. They're looking to hire a contractor, an hourly employee. Let's say the contractor that you find that wants to make $50 an hour. Now the recruiter isn't going to charge the company $50 an hour. They're going to charge a markup and then keep the difference. So they might charge the company $70 an hour and then keep that $20 an hour difference throughout the duration of the contract. The benefit of working as a contract to hire recruiter, you're continuously making that markup every hour that they work, and then in hopes that the company might want to flip that candidate into a full-time position, then you can double up with the addition of adding a conversion fee for turning that candidate from a contractor hourly employee to a full-time salaried employee. So that's the benefit there. And then finally is the internal recruiters, who are part of talent acquisition teams. So they get paid a little bit differently. They're a full-time employee of a company. Chances are their salary is going to be heavily base oriented with a bonus component based off their performance. The benefits of working as an internal recruiter as part of a talent acquisition team is that you will be a little bit more comfortable since a majority of your salary is base oriented with a variable component. So while you'll get that higher base salary when you work internally, you are also responsible for a lot of other things outside of just recruiting for roles. So that's the difference there. You'll be responsible for creating the recruiting foundation, how things are going to operate, determining the recruitment process and the flow, handling interviewer training, other talent initiatives. These are all things that you have to focus on when you work internally that you're not going to have to worry about when you work externally. So those are the 4 ways that a recruiter can earn a living. So they can work as a contingency recruiter where they get paid per candidate that they place. They can work as part of a retained recruitment agencies working on high level positions at a flat rate that's negotiated between the agency and the company. You can work as a recruiter in the contract to hire environment where you're recruiting hourly employees with the hopes that they'll flip into full-time permanent roles, or you can work as an internal recruiter as part of a talent acquisition team. They all have different pays, they all have different structures, but that is how recruiters earn a salary. So if you're a candidate on the job market out there and a recruiter reaches out to you, you don't have to be worried about them taking a cut of your salary if they were to place you. You should use them as a resource to get your foot in the door, get more interviews, and hopefully land your next job. If you found this video helpful, you might like some of my other videos as well. Follow along for more interviewing, career, and recruiting insights.